actually fourth day if you count the play-ins of March Madness basketball, but the games are increasing in importance as the second round is going to start today. And I figured today, right now, would be a perfect time to give everyone a preview of round two, as well as recapping all the fun and festivities we had from the first round. I've got also upsets galore. Holy cow! This is rendered useless. I still have my final four intact. That's about it. My Elite Eight is toast. My Sweet 16 also pretty much toast. Um, oh my goodness, how many Sweet 16 teams do I have left? Gonzaga, Santa Barbara lost. USC still in it. Iowa still in. Bonaventure, Georgetown, and Texas all lost. Bama won. Baylor won. Purdue lost. Arkansas won. Ohio State lost. Illinois won. Oklahoma State won. San Diego State lost. I had Syracuse. Thanks a lot. Houston won. So my bracket is toast. But you know what? It's okay. I still have my Final Four intact, so I guess I can still get some points for that. But today, we're going to be I'm making thumbnails for I'm making thumbnails and scoreboards for every single second round game. In case there's a stream, I can just plug it on in. Syracuse, they show up in the tournament. They're like the, you know what? Here, I'll give you a good Syracuse comparison. They're the St. Louis Cardinals of college basketball. They're not supposed to be good. They barely sneak into the playoffs, and then they win and screw everyone over. Like, remember when the Padres played the Cardinals? I was like, oh, okay, Padres have the better team. The Padres have the better pitching. The Padres have the better hitting. The Padres are at home. That means the Cardinals are going to win. And the Cardinals won game one and were up 6-0 in game two, and then they choked. But, like, you get what I'm saying. But let's do here's what we're going to do. We're going to recap the first. I'll give you an example. We'll recap Gonzaga, Norfolk State, and then Oklahoma, Mizzou, and then we'll preview Gonzaga, Oklahoma. Makes sense? So we'll recap 2 first-round games and then who those teams will be playing in the next round. Does that make sense? That should make enough sense to everyone. Also, I will be streaming for Illinois and Loyola Chicago. Partly because I think that will be the most entertaining second-round game. I think that'll be the most entertaining second-round game. Because I think Loyola could be the second best team in what's their name? They could be the second best team in Illinois' region. Besides maybe like Houston or West Virginia. Because that's how good I think Loyola is. And I think this will be the best round 2. I think this will be the best second round game. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I have these backwards. But like here, I hope you guys liked the thumbnail structure for I hope you guys like the way the thumbnails were. That's not going to be how all thumbnails are going to be designed, but I hope you liked it because I couldn't really. The reason I had to do it is because the March Madness logo is like elongated. It was hard to work out, but it was interesting. Let's get to it. How did the tourney's top team do? Gonzaga. What did they do? Well, they went out and absolutely beat the brakes off of Norfolk State, as they're supposed to. I mean, hold on. I need to move this over. I mean, as they should. I mean, Gonzaga, top team in the tournament. We shouldn't have expected anything less from them. They went out and they took care of business. I mean, nothing really much else to say. Oklahoma and Missouri. That was a good game. That game came down to the wire. Oklahoma just had enough at the end to pull it off and get the win. That was the other game at Lucas Oil yesterday. So Oklahoma, Mizzou. Yeah. Hold on. I've gotta hold on. I'm gonna go and delete all the other thumbnails that I made that I'm not gonna use. So give me a minute. Give me a minute. Gotta put all these in the trash can. Hold on, my phone's in a bad spot. What if we put it over here? Y'all can still see me, right? Yeah, you can. Okay. Oh, I forgot to change the seeds. Damn it. This might be harder than I thought because I gotta focus on like a bunch of things at once. All right, so preview for Gonzaga, Oklahoma. I mean, Gonzaga should win. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things definitely have happened, but I don't see Gonzaga. I don't see Oklahoma pulling it off. I mean, yes, they have a good team. I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, yes, 1 seeds have lost in the second round. We'll get to one that I think might happen later, but I just don't think Gonzaga is going to win. So, I don't know. Yeah, what about... Okay, we'll get to every game. All right, next, the game I was at yesterday. Creighton and UC Santa Barbara. This was a game, all right? This was a game. Hold on. I gotta look up the schedule because I'm gonna do thumbnails for today's games first. Wisconsin, Baylor's the next one. This was a game. I mean, this was an absolute game. Santa Barbara came out hot. They had a really big lead early. Creighton caught a bunch of momentum, and they pretty much closed it right before halftime. They had like a 4-point lead at half. The second half, Creighton came out like a house of fire. Creighton was not messing around in that second half. I mean, Creighton completely took over. They were up by about 10. Santa Barbara called a timeout, regrouped themselves, and the Gauchos went on a 14-0 run. They were on fire. They were on absolute fire that entire second half. I mean, they were taking names. It was a sight to see. Our entire section was pulling for Santa Barbara, so we were getting hype. Oh, it was a lot of fun. They ended up taking the lead. Creighton crawled back. Creighton had about a 3-point lead. Santa Barbara goes down, gets a layup. So Santa Barbara goes down, gets a layup. Creighton comes down. They turn it over. Santa Barbara's got it again. Guy goes in, gets fouled, makes both free throws. They're up by 1. Creighton looks inside. Ball gets tapped away by UC Santa Barbara. There's a huge scramble for it. Huge scramble for the ball. And they call the foul on Santa Barbara as the guy was reaching for the ball. I'm sitting in the top row of the stadium. I could not tell if it was a foul or not. Everyone, as we're walking, I said, "Oh, it's the Big East. The Big East has the money with the refs." I'm like, I couldn't tell. Anyway, they put Creighton on the free throw line, makes both free throws. Santa Barbara had a timeout. They didn't use it. A lot of times, coaches don't want to call timeouts in that situation. They're like, I'm just going to go trust my players. I'm guessing that's what Santa Barbara did. I probably would have called a timeout, regroup that stuff. But a lot of times, coaches like to trust their players. I'm not a coach, so I'm not going to critique that decision. So, hold on. Files, save as to favors. Anyway, so they work it around the outside. They find a guy wide open inside. He comes in, gets hit, throws it up, layup. He missed the layup for the win. Our entire section. The ending to that was awful. So they ended up coming away with a win, but it was a great game. Anyway, but the winner of that game they face the winner of Ohio and Virginia. And I was like, I probably should take Virginia here, but I'm gonna ignore it and take what's their names. I should take Ohio, but I was like, I'm gonna ignore it and take Virginia. Virginia, they looked good in the first half. I mean, but Ohio and Jason Preston, I mean, they closed the gap. I mean, this became a game, and Virginia, they can't score. How did this team win a national championship? How did Virginia win a national championship? I mean, who let that happen? They can't score. I mean, you're not going to win games if you can't score. I don't understand how. I seriously don't understand how. They just couldn't score. And Ohio wasn't lighting their roof on fire because, they're facing one of the best defensive teams. But it was just, they just couldn't score at the end. And Ohio kind of just drained them out and won the game. I mean, I watched this game in the car on the way home from Indy back to where I live. And it was just kind of like, oh, they just couldn't get it done. So Ohio pulled off the upset. Now, who would I take between Ohio and Creighton? I'm gonna say Creighton, and the reason I'm gonna say Creighton is because watching Santa Barbara and watching Santa Barbara play Creighton, I think both of those teams are better. Like, I think Santa Barbara and Creighton are better than Virginia and Ohio. I think Santa Barbara is a lot better than Ohio, and Creighton was able to beat Santa Barbara. I think Creighton will end up beating Ohio. Next, USC and Drake. I didn't get to catch much of this game because this game was going on at the same time the Santa Barbara game was, but basically it was a close back and forth game for a while, and then USC kind of just pulled away at the end. That's kind of what I expected to happen. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Yeah, that's exactly what ended up happening. And USC kind of just wore them down and won the game. Kansas and Eastern Washington. All right, now this was a game. We were watching this. We were walking around a mall in Indy before everything started. We were watching this game closely, and this was a game. Eastern Washington had themselves a lead for the majority of this game. And then Kansas kind of started to wear them down, and Kansas went on a run near the end of the game, and it was kind of just all over at that point. And they ended up winning, but that was a great game. Eastern Washington almost pulled it off, but they couldn't quite do it. USC versus Kansas. I'm gonna go with USC. This was a matchup I got both of these games right. Rare occasion right now. But I got both these games right. I think USC is better. They're way higher in efficiency. Kansas they honestly look pretty bad against Eastern. If you have to claw and fight and scrap against Eastern Washington, not really a good sign. And what's their names? I mean, USC beat Drake pretty easily. They beat it by about 15. So I think USC looked a lot better to me. So I'm gonna take USC in that second round game. All right, this is the saddest part from yesterday. Partly because I was really looking forward to this game. This is going to be a good game. I really looked forward to this one. VCU and Oregon. VCU got COVID. They're all ate up. They got like 5 players with it. My dad went to Louisville, and he's mad because apparently VCU knew about their COVID cases beforehand, but they didn't want to tell anyone because I hoped they would test negative the day of the game. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what my dad said. But Oregon, they get a free win. Apparently, I mean, that sucks. Partly because I took VCU. That screwed me over. That screwed my bracket. That's a point I lost out on. That's so stupid. Oregon won 2-0 in the NCAA. Found highlights of 7 minutes for the game. It's probably just news reports. But that made me upset. Man, that stinks. That really stinks. I mean, if you think if you had VCU making a run. What if I follow an Instagram page, VCU Rams Insider. He's devastated, man. I mean, he's devastated. Anyway, the other game, Iowa and Grand Canyon. This wasn't much of a game. I will say there were some Grand Canyon fans. There were some Grand Canyon fans in the stands that were getting hype. I mean, it didn't really mean anything, but I will say that. Iowa and Oregon. I'll take Iowa. I I think with a better team plus Oregon, they will have not played in a while. I mean, yeah, yay, we won. But I think Iowa will go out and beat them. I think I had Iowa beating VCU anyway. Michigan and Texas Southern. This wasn't much of a game. Michigan really just controlled from the opening tip. I mean, nothing really else to say. I mean, they kind of just went out and handled business and won the game. I mean, it's a 16 seed. I mean, I don't know what you want. I don't really know what you want them to do, but they went out, took care of business, and won. LSU and St. Bonaventure didn't get to catch much of this game. I wanted to, but I couldn't. Bonaventure, you screwed me. You literally went down and you screwed me. I had you making a run to the Elite Eight, and you went out and you laid an egg against LSU. What? Come on, Bonaventure. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing, St. Bonaventure. Last time I picked you to do anything. Ah, jeez. Just went out and laid an egg against LSU. I don't really know what you want. Michigan and LSU. I said the winner of LSU and St. Bonaventure would beat Michigan. Yeah, I said that. And I'm going to stick true to that. I think LSU will win this game. I originally had Bonaventure, but I'm telling you, I think that LSU will win this game. I think they're great offensively. I mean, Michigan's without one of their best players still. I mean, you don't need your best players to beat Texas Southern. I'm sorry. I think they're better, and I think they're going to come out and get a win. I mean, I like LSU's chances. They're playing really well right now. Great win against Bonaventure. I think they come out and get it done. Give me LSU. Colorado at Georgetown. Okay, this is the early game. I caught this on the car going to Indy and while we were in the mall in Indy. And holy cow, Georgetown. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing, Georgetown. Jeez, making me look bad. Went out and laid a giant egg against Colorado. Colorado, they put up 96 on you? You let Colorado drop 96 on you. How's that possible? Jeez, man. Oh, my goodness. What an egg you laid. Had you going to the Sweet 16 against St. Bonaventure. Jeez. Absolutely awful performance. Florida State and UNC Greensboro. Greensboro gave them all they could handle. I mean, Greensboro, that was a game. I mean, Greensboro, they would not go away. Florida State kind of just had enough at the end to win, but Greensboro put up a fight. They almost pulled it off. Give them a little bit of respect. Colorado and Florida State. I'm going to take Colorado. I mean, Colorado looked dominant against Georgetown. I mean, they were splashing from downtown. That looked like a dangerous Colorado team. I'll tell you that. I mean, that looked like a dangerous team. I think Florida State's got another thing coming for them today. Or do they put tomorrow? Yeah, the games I'm talking about right now, they're happening tomorrow. Yeah, I think give me Colorado. BYU and UCLA. This was an interesting one. UCLA came out hot to start the game. I mean, they went on they were up early in that game. And BYU tried to close the gap, but this is one of those games where every single time they tried to close the gap, they was one step away every single time. And UCLA eventually went on another run to end the game, and that's all she wrote. BYU's done. That was a very weird game to watch. But yeah, UCLA went out and won that game. This made me mad as a Michigan State fan because we definitely could have taken BYU. BYU looked great the entire season. A lot of people had them in their Elite Eight. But yeah, that was kind of just went out and laid an egg there. And then this is interesting. Okay, I'll tell you about something that happened last night. So I was tired when I was really tired. At the end of the first round, I went to bed during the Winthrop Villanova game because I was just so tired. And luckily, Villanova ended up winning. I didn't really miss anything from that game. Last night, I went to I anyway. It was halftime of the Abilene Christian and Texas game, and I was like, okay, it's like it was either tied or like Texas was up by. It was like within 3 points. I was kind of like, okay. I am tired after a long day of traveling. I've been in a car for like 6 hours today. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go to bed. Texas should be able to hold on to Abilene Christian. I ended up waking. You guys know the feeling when you just like wake up randomly at one point during the night. You're just kind of like, I really don't want to be awake right now. That's what happened to me. I decided I was like, I'm gonna check my phone. I have like 80 notifications. I was just like, what the hell happened? So I scroll through Instagram, and Abilene Christian won. I was like, to Abilene Christian? Oh my god. How do you lose to Abilene Christian? Seriously. You are the top school in Texas, and you lose to Abilene Christian. That's embarrassing. I mean, that's the epitome of embarrassment right there. That is the embodiment of embarrassment. How do you lose to Abilene? Did you know? Okay, I'll give you some. Did you know that every single there were 7 schools from Texas that made the NCAA tournament? Those being Baylor, Texas, Texas Tech, Houston, Texas Southern, North Texas, and Abilene Christian. 6 of those won a game. Baylor beat Hartford. Texas Tech beat Utah State. Texas Southern won their playing game. North Texas upset Purdue. Houston won. Abilene Christian won. And Texas is the only school that didn't win a game. Just an embarrassing, pitiful performance from the Shorthorn. That was sad to watch, Texas. I mean, it wasn't sad to watch. I didn't watch it because I was sleeping. But good thing I did. That was an embarrassing game from the Shorthorn. Just an awful. UCLA and Abilene Christian. Interesting. Very interesting game. I like it when 2 lower seeds win. It provides a lot of like interesting drama. I'm gonna go with UCLA. I still think Abilene Christian is gonna have the firepower. Plus, I think UCLA was a little bit underseeded. Maybe should have been a little bit higher of a seed. But I'm gonna go with UCLA. UConn and Maryland. Everyone and their mother picked UConn, and they just didn't have anything against Maryland. I mean, they just couldn't hang with them. Maryland they just kind of ran away with the game. I mean, that game just kind of off they go, and Maryland they just couldn't hang with Maryland. I don't know. That was another weird game. That was another one I was expecting UConn to win that one pretty easily. And Maryland said no. I mean, they looked good that game. I mean, Maryland, they've been on a bit of a run ever since they beat Michigan State that one time. I mean, what was I saying? They've looked good. I mean, what can I say? They just off they go. So yeah, I mean, Maryland, they looked like a really good team that game. I gotta give them credit. I mean, they looked really, really good. And, yeah, off they go. That's all I really got to say about that game. Alabama and Iona. That game was... I didn't get to catch much. This was during the UC Santa Barbara game, so I didn't really get to catch any of this game. Iona hung around for a little bit. I mean, they went on a bit of a run, but Alabama they had enough at the end of the game, and they went out and won it. I mean, there's really nothing much else to say. Yeah, congrats Alabama. You beat a 15 seed. Maryland and Alabama. I will say this will be a close game. If Maryland plays the way they did against UConn, they will hang around in this game. They definitely will hang around in this game if they can play the way they did. I'm gonna take Bama, but watch out for Maryland. They looked dangerous in that game. They really looked like a good team and a team that could maybe do some damage. I mean, they went out and they completely dismantled a very good and hot UConn team. So beware of what's their names? Beware of Maryland, but I'm going to take Alabama Hold on, I'm doing thumbnail stuff. Getting ready. Okay. So I just previewed all the games that happened yesterday and then the games that will happen tomorrow. Now we're going to recap the games that happened on Monday and will happen today. We'll start with Baylor and Hartford. This wasn't much of a game. It just wasn't. I mean, I said Hartford had the most potential of any 16 seed to win, and I mean, I guess they hung around for a little bit, but Baylor just ran away with it near the end, and they ended up getting an easy win. North Carolina and Wisconsin. Thanks for nothing, North Carolina. Thanks for nothing. That was, man, the egg you laid against, man, you laid a giant egg against the Badgers. Oh my goodness, they ran you up and down the court. Holy cow, that game wasn't even close. That was a massacre. Man, I heard people saying, is it too soon to call? Is it too soon to call with North Carolina a football school? Yes, it's way too soon to call North Carolina football. I get their football team was better this year. I mean, they have tons of national championships in basketball. They don't have any in football. I mean, they were an awful football team. So I think it is definitely too soon. Villanova and Baylor, Wisconsin. This will be a game. Wisconsin very high in efficiency, and they're looking good right now. This will be a game. I think Baylor will pull it out, but this will be a game. Wisconsin will not go away quietly. They will make this a game. I promise you, this will be a intense, exciting game that will come down to the wire. But I think Baylor will have enough in the end to get it done. Okay, next. Hold on. Will this be big enough? Please be big enough. All right, next, we have Villanova taking on Winthrop. Now, a lot of people were rocking with Winthrop. I said, no, I don't think Winthrop's that great. They're bad in efficiency. And so I was just kind of like, yeah, I just don't think that they're going to have enough. And I think that Villanova's going to come out and win. And that's pretty much what happened. I nailed this game on the head. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much nailed this game on the head. There was really nothing that Winthrop was going to do in that game. Villanova they were just the better team. And then they kind of just, yeah. Okay, and then next, this was so funny. Oh my goodness, this was hilarious. This was absolutely hilarious. North Texas not only did they beat Purdue, they basically beat them at home. That was a home game for Purdue. I mean, they had a ton of fans in that stadium. They were all Purdue fans. And North Texas went out and beat them in overtime at Lucas Oil in front of hundreds of Purdue. I can't stand Purdue. They're very cocky, Purdue is. I can't stand them. But they went out, beat them. And not only that, we saw what we really thought, and we're pretty sure about this. We saw their bus going home. On our way to Indy, we saw this big black bus. We saw 3 huge black buses with a cop escort. And we're like, who's going north? It's Purdue going home. You laid the biggest egg in the world against North Texas. North Texas went out and beat you. And now we have a very interesting Villanova-North Texas matchup. And here's what I'll say. I said, I think the winner of Purdue... I think whoever wins Purdue-North Texas will beat Villanova. Because I don't think Villanova's that good. Villanova's really overrated. North Texas, I think North Texas is better than Winthrop. I think North Texas will win. Purdue is definitely better than Villanova. And North Texas is definitely better than Winthrop. I think North Texas is going to win high momentum. After an OT win, give me the mean green. I'm taking North Texas. To make the Sweet 16, think of the story that would be. I mean, that'd be great. So give me the mean green. I think they're gonna come out and win this game. I really think so. Oregon Okay. Now we have Texas Tech and Utah State. This was one of the early games, the first day, and this kind of it was a close game for a while. Then Mac McClung woke up. He woke up big time and kind of just ran away with the game after that. I mean, it was like, oh, Utah State's up by 1, and now they're down by 20. It was really one of those games. Texas Tech just overwhelmed the Aggies near the end of that game and won pretty easily. So they won. And then Arkansas at Colgate. I'll tell you a funny story. My PTE teacher was talking about what bets he should take for March Madness, and I'm the bracket guy. And he was like, we were like talking about brackets or whatever. He goes, I was like, you take Colgate plus 9.5 against Arkansas. I was like, Colgate shoots the three really, really well. And I think that they're get 10 points? Really? Give me Colgate. And he was like, all right, I'll see about that. So I'm in class, right? And they're dominating them. Colgate was up by like 20 at one point. It was domination, just utter domination from the point of attack. I mean, they could not hang with Colgate. So in between classes, I run down to his room. And I was like, please tell me you took Colgate. He goes, no, anyway, so I leave my room. I leave my class. Colgate's up by like 20. I get to his class. Colgate's up by 5. And I was like, please tell me you took Colgate. He goes, I don't know. He goes, I didn't. He's like, I don't know. Arkansas is making quite a big run. I was like, yeah. Oh, well, hopefully Colgate can pull it off. And Colgate laid an egg in the second half. They just completely couldn't hang with them. Arkansas just blew them out of the building. And Arkansas won really easily. And Colgate did not end up covering the spread, so I'm glad that he didn't end up picking that. So, Texas Tech and Arkansas, I'm going to take Arkansas. I think Arkansas is definitely the better team. They looked really good, and they looked dominant in the second half of that game. I mean, yeah, a lot of times you're not going to come out great against like a small, hungry seed, but they really took care of business in the end, and I think they definitely will beat Mac McClung and the Aggies. I mean, not the Aggies, the Red Raiders. They just beat the Aggies. That should be pretty easy for them. They should be able to get a win in that game. All right, next, Florida, Virginia Tech. This is the opening game, and it's always fun. The opening game is always the one that all the kids watch at school. It's always a lot of fun. And this game delivered. It delivered big time. This was a great game. Virginia Tech held a close lead basically the entire game. Florida went on a run, though, near the end of the half, and they ended up taking the lead at one point, and they were up kind of big. And we're just like, oh, all right, well, Florida's going to win. And then Tech responded or whatever. And then they turned it over. So basically, all it came down to was Florida was up by 3 with the ball. They get fouled. This guy's going to make 1 of 2 free throws. 1 of 2. Or it's kind of like, okay, well, game's over. Missed the first one. Okay. Missed the second one. 5 seconds, they got a chance. Virginia Tech's got a chance. They come down. Guy spots up from about half court. Drills it. Absolutely drills it. Nothing but net. Sends the game to overtime. But in overtime, they just didn't have enough. Florida kind of just ran away with the overtime period and won the game. That's when my bracket busted. I picked Virginia Tech. Thanks a lot, Florida. But yeah, they ended up winning. This next game. This next game's a fun one. Oh, this next game is so much fun. Oral Roberts and Ohio State. I told everyone, I said, listen, Ohio State's probably going to win. Watch out for Oral Roberts. They might pull off an upset, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And y'all all, shut up. He don't know nothing. He really thinks Oral Roberts is going to win. Wow. Well, Oral Roberts comes out. They start off hot. They went on like a 10-point lead. Ohio State closes the gap. Back and forth. Oral Roberts responded. We have overtime. In overtime, and then we're just like, let's all set up. 15-2 upset. Here's the thing about Oral Roberts. They, I think, are the #1 free throw shooting team in the country. And that really played to their advantage. They barely missed any free throws. They were very sound from the free throw line. So I give big props to them for that. Their star point guard, Max Osmus, this guy was a man possessed. He was getting to the bucket. He was making threes everywhere. He basically was shooting from anywhere. Now, he wasn't making from anywhere, but he was shooting from basically anywhere. And he had himself a great all-around game. And the game goes to overtime, and here come the Golden Eagles. Oral Roberts was really looking good in that overtime period. They were up by 3, but Ohio State's got a chance. They come down 3. They missed. They were going to go for a quick 2. They missed the layup. Now they back tap. Dwayne Washington, wide. No one's within 10 feet of him. Wide open 3 to tie, and he missed it. And he completely missed it. And that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. The 15-2 upset is complete. And Oral Roberts, that was the bracket killer. That was the bracket killer. I mean, there were quite a few perfect brackets before that game ended. After that, perfect bracket, you say? Let's get rid of that real quick. I mean, it was just after that, it was just kind of and there's 5 perfect brackets. There were some that still survived, but at that point, you're just like, well, there goes the perfect bracket dreams. So congratulations, all right. Now they play Florida. Is Ohio State better than Florida? Definitely. Holy cow, Ohio State's definitely better than Florida. Here's my thing, though. Okay, as much as I would love to see what's their name, as much as I would love to see Oral Roberts pull them off, Florida is the Cinderella killer. They're basically the clock that strikes midnight. Think about this. When 11 seed George Mason made the Final Four, guess who beat them? Florida. When Norfolk State, 15 seed, upset Missouri, guess who beat them? Florida. When Florida Gulf Coast beat Georgetown and San Diego State, the lowest seed ever to make the Sweet 15. Sweet 15, America's team, Florida Gulf Coast. Guess who beat them in the Sweet 16? Florida. Florida will win. Oral Roberts has a great team. They have potential to win. Florida's the Cinderella killer. And they will win. Breaking news, Florida, man. I think Oral Roberts has a chance. This will be a great game, but that history, man. Not going against that. I think Florida will win. As much as, if Florida loses to Oral Roberts, we are giving Murray hell. All right, Illinois and Drexel. This, not much of a game. I mean, it was kind of over once it started. Drexel hit a 3 to go up 3-0, and I saw a bunch of memes that just said, "Stop the count." No, the count will not stop. The count will just keep going. And they just kind of were outmatched that entire game. I mean, congratulations, you made the tournament, but you are going to get absolutely steamrolled by a championship favorite. So yeah, Illinois beat Drexel. Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech. Very good game. Interesting game. A lot of people picked Georgia Tech. I was like, what are you people doing picking Georgia Tech? Loyola was 9th in efficiency, and it was a close game for a while. Georgia Tech had a lead. Near the end of the game, Loyola went on a run. They were determined to win that game, and there was nothing that was basically going to stand in their way. We're getting the win in the end, and we're getting it pretty easily. So Loyola won that game. Loyola and Illinois. Here is what I will tell you. Hold on, I need to find my. I'm making thumbnails. I need to. Some of these are weird to find. Here's what I'll tell you about Loyola. I think they are the second or third best team in this region. Besides Illinois and Houston. I mean, I think they're that good. Did you know this team is actually statistically better than the team that made the Final Four? They're actually statistically better than the Final Four team, which is hard to believe, but it's true. This game will be a dogfight, and I'm gonna stream for it. It's the first game on today. It actually comes on in about 40 minutes. I'm gonna take Illinois, but this will be a dogfight, an absolute dogfight. This will be a great game. But I'm gonna take Illinois. But watch out. Someone said UCLA. Hold on. So I could see UCLA making the Elite Eight or Final Four. I'll tell you a funny story. Okay, you want to hear a funny story? I always make 2 brackets every year. I make one of the one I actually think is gonna happen, and then I have a bracket where I pick Michigan State. Sometimes it's the same bracket because I've picked Michigan State to win it all multiple times. Sometimes it's the same bracket. I had a bracket this year where I picked Michigan State to win it all, and they lost. So I have a bracket called MSU all the way with UCLA as my champion. I don't like that, but it's what ended up happening. But if UCLA wins the tournament, I'm gonna have like a top 10 bracket. Or like if UCLA wins the tournament, I'm gonna win my own bracket challenge. I'm the only person that has a bracket with UCLA winning it all. So part of me wants UCLA. I kind of want UCLA to make a deep run because then I could be like, guys, look, I picked UCLA. But yeah. Also, in that other bracket, I had like Colgate in the Elite Eight or something like that. Like I picked some crazy upsets in that one. But yeah. What do we got next? Tennessee. Oh boy, this was bad. Mostly because of Murray. This one was bad. Oregon State and Tennessee. What an egg this was. Holy cow. What an... Oh my goodness. Oregon State. It wasn't even that Oregon State played, like... It wasn't even that Oregon State played necessarily that well. I mean, they don't get me wrong. They played a great game. But please tell me... Okay. Please tell me how Tennessee scores 18 points in the first half. 18 points in the first half. Holy, this was a... Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Jeez. What? I mean... Tennessee. Tennessee. Oh my goodness. The egg that they laid, holy cow, just didn't even show up. Just didn't show up. And give props to Oregon State, Pac-12 champs. They played a great game. But Tennessee, man, that was an ugly game. And Oregon State, they just took advantage of their opportunities and weathered the storm. So congrats to the Beavers. They will take on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State survived a bit of a scare against, what's their names? Against Liberty. Liberty gave them all they can handle. I mean, that was a close game down the stretch, but they didn't end up pulling it off. And now we get a very intriguing Oklahoma State versus Oregon State matchup. A scoreboard for this would look really weird. So it's just like OSU versus OSU, but I'll have to make like one a different color or something. I may make it OKS versus ORS or something like that. I don't know, but the battle of the OSUs, I think Oklahoma State will win. I mean, Cade Cunningham will just be able to take over at any point. Tennessee doesn't have a Cade Cunningham, so I think Oklahoma State will end up. They could just go to him like basically whenever they want to, and I think they will end up winning this game. It will be a great game though. Oregon State, they're hot right now. They're one of the hottest teams in the country. I wanted to pick one of either Oregon State or Georgetown, the bracket busters. I went with Georgetown. Bad move. Should have gone with Oregon State. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. My bracket's toast. Next, we have this makes me sad. This makes me very, very, very sad. Thanks for absolutely nothing, San Diego. Thanks for nothing, San Diego. I know I've said that a lot in this video. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing, San Diego State. You really helped out my bracket, didn't you? You were so great. I picked you to go to the Elite Eight. What do you go out and do? You go out and scored 18 points in the first half against Syracuse. Oh my goodness. I'm like on my way home from James's house or whatever. I was like, all right, let me check and see what let me go check and see what San Diego State said. Oh, they're getting murdered. Jeez, the Aztecs were conquered by the Spanish today. Oh my goodness. Just bad. Everything's bad. Performance just completely didn't show up. And my Elite Eight pick, gone. Completely gone. Completely gone. Man, Syracuse. I'm telling you. Syracuse. The St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals of St. Louis Cardinals of college basketball. Anyway, West Virginia and Morehead State. West Virginia cleaned up pretty easily. It's Morehead State. You should beat Morehead State. And whippity-doo, you did beat Morehead State. Congratulations to the Mountaineer man. Yeah, I mean, they won. I mean, what else do you want from me? And this brings up a West Virginia-Syracuse matchup. Interesting indeed. I'm going to pick West Virginia, but, big but here, Syracuse will make this a game. Doesn't matter why, they will make it a game. I mean, this is going to be a dogfight. Syracuse always comes through and does something great, but I think West Virginia will win. Clemson and Rutgers, I said the two most overrated teams. This was kind of either team wanted to win this game, but it was back and forth. I'll give you that. It was a good game. Rutgers was up by 2 with the ball with like 10 seconds, and they had to make a basket or else Clemson was going to have a chance. And they ended up getting like a wide open layup. I was like, the defensive breakdown for Clemson. I picked Clemson, didn't really work out. Rutgers ended up winning it. Houston and Cleveland State. Houston went out and they took care of business. I mean, not really much else to say there. I mean, they went out and won. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Rutgers and Houston. Houston, big. Houston wins by 20 plus. Houston wins big. Yeah, I think Houston is just going to be way too much, and they should end up winning pretty easily. But I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. I will be live for Loyola in Illinois and any other games that are close. Boy, am I excited. I'm so excited. March is great. March is the best month. Find me a better month. You can't. It's March. More wall-to-wall basketball today. More wall-to-wall basketball tomorrow. And then it's a bit of a break, a little bit of a down period before the Sweet 16 comes around, and then it's a lot of fun. But hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you today for the games. Hope to see you around.